Can you make a woman miss you? Can you make her chase after you? Of course you can. Now, before you start with that old excuse that women only chase after money, shut up for a minute and pay attention, my friend, because this video is going to teach you a thing or two. In today's video, I'm going to show you 6 attitudes that will make any woman chase after you and, of course, miss you. And look, we're not talking about anything out of this world. These are such simple attitudes that even you, with that lost look on your face, can apply. Besides making her miss you, these attitudes will also turn you into a much more confident man.
Let's get straight to the point.
Number 1, be the hero she'll never forget, even if she tries. Now, pay attention. Forget that nonsense about needing a private jet, spending money on expensive restaurants, or pretending to be a millionaire. If you really think that the way to stay on her mind is by showing her your bank account, I've got news for you. You haven't understood anything about how a woman's mind works. Because being unforgettable has absolutely nothing to do with how much you spend, but with how well you know how to play with her emotions. And if there's one thing you need to learn right now, it's how to deal with that. What matters is how you make her feel. You want to be that guy she remembers with a smile on her face, right? So, instead of spending loads of money on gifts that any other fool with money could buy, focus on the basics, but do them well. Make her laugh. We're not talking about lame jokes you found on Google, but that kind of humor that makes her bend over with laughter, that deep down from the soul kind of laugh, you know? That's what's going to stick, not the expensive dinner. And the conversations? Oh, my friend, that's where the magic happens. You know those shallow conversations that only revolve around work, the weather, and stuff like that? Forget it. If you want to be remembered, dive deep. Talk about things that make her think. Ask questions. Listen with real interest. Yes, you're going to have to learn to listen, because most guys don't even try. Make her feel understood. And not just anyone can do that, you know? When you do this, you create a connection that no one else has. Now, what really seals the deal is how you treat her. Don't treat her like a trophy or someone to impress others. Treat her as an equal. Simple, right? But look, most men fail miserably here. And that's exactly why. If you manage to treat her with respect, consideration, attention, and most importantly, with that lightness that makes time fly when you're together, you're already miles ahead of everyone else. You don't need extravagance. Just make her feel like when she's with you, the outside world disappears. And when she goes back home, you can bet it's not going to be the designer purse or the expensive shoes that are on her mind. She'll remember how you made her feel. The laughter, the connection, the simple moments that you turned into something special. And that's what's going to keep hammering in her mind, making her think, man, I want to see him again. Now, a word of advice. Don't go around throwing this charm on just anyone. Your time and energy are valuable. If she's only interested in what you can offer financially, my friend, she's not worth your effort. Choose wisely. You want a woman who values who you are, not what you have in your pocket. Because believe me, you'll make a real impact when you're authentic and when the connection is genuine. Number 2, disappear like a professional illusionist without leaving a trace. Now that you've planted that little seed in her head, done your good guy act, and shown that you know how to mess with her emotions, it's time to do something that many guys just can't manage. Disappear. Yes, that's right, disappear. But hold on, I'm not telling you to vanish as if you were in a witness protection program. The move here is a strategic disappearance, like a professional illusionist, you know? Do you know why this is important? Because nobody misses someone who's always there, available 24/7 like a service catalog. If you want her to really feel your absence, to wonder, where is he? You need to take a break. If you're always available, my friend, you'll become predictable, boring, and no one misses the predictable. People crave the unpredictable, the mystery, that feeling of, will he call me today? And before you start freaking out, thinking she'll forget about you if you disappear for a while, let me explain. The secret is balance. It's a game of presence and absence. Show up just enough to let her know you're still in the game, but disappear just enough for her to wonder what the hell you're up to. Do it in a balanced way and you'll see how she starts taking the initiative because you're not there, glued to your phone, waiting for a message like a needy fool. Now don't go disappearing for so long that she thinks you were abducted, okay? If you vanish for too long, the interest dies and she moves on. It's a fine line. Disappear, but reappear at the right time. Show her you have your own life, that you don't rely on her to fill your time. This makes her start wondering if you have other options, which, let's be honest, only spices things up more. She needs to miss you, and no, that won't happen if you're stuck to her 24/7. Longing only appears in your absence, so don't be afraid to give space for that. When she feels that space and realizes that you're not available like a call center, she'll start making moves. If the interest is mutual, she'll seek you out. And if you notice that you're always the one chasing while she just responds, something is very wrong there. The key here is moderation. Disappear enough for her to feel the impact of your absence, but not so much that she thinks you got lost on the map. It's a timing game, and when you get it right, my friend, the longing will hit her so hard she'll message you before you even notice. Number 3, stop being that clingy guy. No one can stand, or you'll die single. Let's get straight to the point. If you're still that guy who clings to a woman, you're doing it all wrong. And before you start justifying yourself with the classic excuse of, "But I just want to show that I care," let me tell you a very bitter truth. You're killing any chance of winning her over. No, you're not being attentive, kind, or cute. You're being suffocating. Neediness, my friend, is the most potent repellent in the universe of attraction. You're there, available 24 hours a day, like her emotional Uber. You know what she thinks? That you're too easy, and easy is synonymous with uninteresting. Who's interested in something they already have in their hands? No one. It takes all the fun out of the chase, and faster than you can imagine, you'll go from interesting to annoying in record time. If you don't stop with this clingy behavior, she'll see you as a pebble in her shoe. And make no mistake, she doesn't want a guy who always seems to be in alert mode, waiting for her next notification. That's not caring. It's disguised desperation. And the smell of desperation, she senses it from a mile away. Do you really want to scare a woman? Be obsessed. Start controlling her schedules, asking what she's doing, living stuck to her like an insecure teenager. The only thing you'll win with that is her silence, and soon her number will vanish from your contacts list. No one wants an emotional stalker, so do yourself a favor. Let go. Take a deep breath and value yourself. If you don't see the value of your time and your company, she won't see it either. Take the focus off her for a second and look at yourself. Are you self-sufficient? Do you have something going on in your life besides this obsession with chasing her? Because if not, let me tell you, you've already lost the battle before it even started. When you learn to prioritize yourself, to put your own life first, you become truly interesting. She'll notice that you're no longer there like a puppy, and then her interest will spark. It's simple. Those who chase too much get tired quickly. Stop revolving around her and start revolving around yourself. Because if you don't, you'll keep running in circles, and you'll end up more lost than when you started. If you're tired of being walked over and treated like trash, of begging for attention and being ignored as if you were a zero, it's time to wake up to life. Read the digital book in the description of this video and learn once and for all how to stop being a doormat. After this read, you'll understand how to be cold, calculating, and not let anyone disrespect you. No more chasing like an idiot! It's time to value yourself and transform into the man she fears losing. If you don't do it, no one will do it for you. Lift your head up and put your life in order now. Number 4. Be the enigma she'll never be able to solve. Come on, let's talk about the truth that few understand. Mystery is an aphrodisiac. And don't give me that look like you already know it all. If you're still spilling your whole life story on the first date, it's time to get embarrassed and stop. Dumping your entire history from childhood to what you had for breakfast is a recipe for failure. Want to be interesting? Then learn to be an enigma, man. An enigma that she'll never fully figure out. Look, no one likes a book that's been read 1,000 times. If you're predictable and hand everything over on a silver platter, where's the thrill? Where's the game? Where's that feeling of, I need to figure out who this guy really is? If you're the kind who, in the first conversation, already talks about your traumas, fears, hopes, and even the name of your first goldfish, I'm sorry, but you're doing it all wrong. Being interesting means having layers, like an onion, but without the smell, please. When you're a mystery, she feels challenged, intrigued. She wants to find out more about you, and the secret is right there, creating that delicious tension of not revealing everything. Trust me, this holds attention more than anything else. She'll want to know who you really are because you're not that open book she's already tired of reading with other guys. And guess what? This makes her invest more time and energy in you, and the more she's interested, the harder you'll be to forget. Now be careful! Being mysterious is not being cold or acting like a psycho who never talks about himself. Don't confuse things, okay? The game here is knowing how to balance. Give a little, hold back a little. Show enough so she knows you're interesting, but never everything. Leave questions hanging. Leave her curious. Don't go spilling your problems or routine right off the bat. That will just make you seem boring. Have your own life with interests beyond the relationship or the flirtation. Show that you're a man with goals, with a routine that doesn't revolve around her. This makes you more attractive because, let's be honest, what really grabs attention is someone who has more going on in their life than just waiting for the next message. Be enigmatic. Be intriguing. Be impossible to let go of. And when you learn to balance that mystery, you'll see that she won't be able to get you out of her head because, after all, what's more fascinating than the unknown? Number 5. The doubt that will make her break her head. Trying to figure you out. Now we've reached the cherry on top. That sprinkle of uncertainty that will have her on her toes, constantly wondering if you're still around or if you've already moved on. And before you think of cheap manipulation, let me explain. This isn't about dirty games. It's about creating that natural suspense that keeps interest alive. You don't want to be predictable, and trust me, no one wants a guy who seems like a fixed post always by their side. Here's the trick. She needs to feel like if she doesn't act fast, she might lose you. You know that feeling that you're not 100% secure? That's exactly what will make her move. It's not about being disloyal or screwing up, but about generating a slight, healthy dose of insecurity. Because the truth is, people only start to really value something when they feel they could lose it. And how do you do that? Simple. When you're out in social settings, you act naturally and talk to other people, especially women. It's not about flirting openly, but just casual conversation that shows you're sociable, that you have your own life, and that guess what? It doesn't revolve around her. This will plant the subtle doubt. Is he interested in someone else? And there you have it. Without effort, you generate a reality check. She'll start paying more attention to you, afraid that someone else might take her place. Now, if you don't usually go out in groups together, social media is your ally. No, I'm not talking about posting childish indirect messages. Post a picture at an event, a gathering with friends, or even trying out a new activity. This sends a clear message. I have an active and interesting life, with or without you. And guess what's going to happen? She's going to feel the impact. She'll notice that you're not that guy who sits at home waiting for her next message. If she doesn't appreciate it, someone else will. But be careful, because the key here is moderation. If you push too hard, you'll seem like a cheap manipulator. If you play the game with the right subtlety, you'll notice how her interest grows, how she becomes more attentive, trying to figure out where you really are and with whom. The secret is to make her see that although you're interested, your life doesn't stop for her. You're a man of value, and if she doesn't see that, there are plenty of people out there who will. Number 6, stop being a weakling and become the man she'll never want to lose. Enough. I'm going to be very clear. If you haven't understood anything up to this point, you better turn off this video and keep complaining about life. But if you really want to make a difference, here's the gut punch you need. Stop being a weakling. Stop acting like the only thing you have to offer is your pathetic neediness, your cheap attention, and your wasted time on someone who doesn't even value you. The truth is, the problem isn't her. The problem is you, still insisting that groveling for crumbs of attention will make you seen as interesting. Let me tell you something no one has the guts to say. You'll only be valued when you stop acting like an emotional coward. Are you always chasing after her? Always available? Man, you've already lost. You just don't know it yet. Want to really turn things around? Then it's time to grow up. Become the kind of man who doesn't need her or anyone else to feel complete. Do you want respect? Start by respecting yourself. Want her to chase after you? Then give her reasons. Be the man she fears losing. Not because you vanished or play stupid games, but because you're the kind of man who doesn't accept less than what he deserves. And if after all this you're still the same pathetic loser as always, then I'm sorry, my friend. But you haven't understood anything. You'll keep living in the shadows, on the sidelines, being a side character in your own life, while she and everyone else around you keeps ignoring you. So, decide now. Either you stand up and start acting like a real man, or accept that you're going to spend your whole life being the guy no one wants around. The choice is yours, but let me warn you, the world doesn't wait for the weak. So, what are you going to do with this? Keep playing the fool, begging for attention, or finally take control of your life? Because at the end of the day, the one who decides your worth is you. If you keep crawling, accepting crumbs, whining, and waiting for the world to pity you, you'll end up alone. Not because no one wanted you, but because you didn't have the courage to want yourself first. Now, if you really want to be that guy who commands respect, who makes people look at you differently, it's time to stop making excuses and start acting like someone who's worth it. Because in the end, the only one who has the power to change all this is you. The world already has enough cowards. Don't be just another one. I'll wrap it up here. If you didn't get it, go back and watch it again. And if you did, you better start doing something about it. The choice is yours. End of conversation.